How are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm still surprised about the turnout yesterday. Like, it was a good surprising, but still relatively surprised. Not too sure if I'm gonna get that many people today. But regardless of if I do or not, I don't really care too much. So if anyone comes, I'll just be glad that they did. Okay, got the link. Alright. Better get this up too. Alright. I forgot about this part, but let's bring up today's question of the day to see if we have anything interesting. How do I like my eggs? I think I like them scrambled. But not too certain on that. It just depends, but I've had them mainly scrambled in that. Let's see. Looks like that's up. But yeah, I'm getting pretty close into the game here. Like, I'm not too sure how far I'm gonna get today, but I've got like 2/5 of the stuff that I need to get to the final chapter or the final ending. So I'm pretty much making good progress. So just to let you all know today, stream will either be going until it's time, or I get my goal of the last keys. Alright. So now then, there's that. Yeah, I kind of like my eggs scrambled. I've had them poached and hard-boiled, though. I'd say scrambled is best. Okay. Let's get through these. I guess another thing that's kind of interesting is my birthday will be coming up relatively soon. I'm hoping to get a new hard drive for my PlayStation, as well as one for my NAS. Like, right now, I could get other games for my PlayStation, but I'm running out of space, and like I said before, I can free up space, but the problem is the game that takes up the most space, it is also one I actively play. And then I've also got other games like Trails that I can't get off the hard drive until I get the next installment, because each arc you get save bonuses from the old save data. So unless it's a new arc, you don't necessarily want to delete your data. Okay. And what came with the launch model PS5, it's like less than a terabyte, and so you can only have like 7 to 8 games if they're all 100 plus gigs. Only one of them is though one of the games I have, which is Genshin Impact, is in that range though. I do have a bunch of others. Some I have for family to be able to play with them. Alright, let's see, I got everything situated over here. So, I'm gonna go get a drink, and then I will bring up the game and we can get things started. In the meantime, you guys do whatever you need to get settled, and if you need something to do, be sure to check out today's question of the day. If you don't see it, then the command in the title of the stream while I'm live should bring it up. With that, I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. It looks like I didn't miss anything, so let me change the inputs here and then get the game up and we can get started. Alright, here we are. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I'm doing pretty well, other than the fact that I'm still giddy and surprised about the turnout yesterday. But what I'm actually interested in is continuing this, and hopefully you all are interested in it too. As I said earlier while I was setting up, I'm only planning to go until I either get all the remaining keys or time goes. And these afternoon streams are usually the longest of my streams. So we should have a lot of time together. Though, of course, it helps that I made a point in trying to get these things, or at least get to where I needed to be for the next key. Let's see. Okay, so it didn't start out with the choice right here, but oh well. So let's go ahead and ask Isako a question, since this is where I got lost a bit. Because I got key 8 and it didn't give me much. Darn it, no. Alright. Okay, now here it is. Let's see, that minute was pointless to think about it. The thing I had to do now was, oh yeah, it just came back to me. I was the me that had been crushed by a million sheep. Alright, here we go. See, I'd somehow forgotten that the looping was kind of irregular this time, so my memories weren't maintained properly. Anyway, since I remembered it now, I figured I had to ask her something. What is it, Fusaishi-kun? I said I was going to get some fresh air and caught up to Momiya-san. In this timeline, she was a wolf, so she wasn't very stable right now. And with the whole snake act she'd pull tomorrow, she'd go completely out of control. I'd have liked to talk to her in a timeline where Hashimoto-san was alive, but I imagine it'd be hard to find a chance to talk to her then. I remembered it at a decent time though, so whatever, I'd make it work.
さっきの昔話の話でちょっと追加質問がありまして。
I have more questions about the old stories here.
ムジナの話？あれはどこまで行っても水かけ論というか、想像の域は出ないと思うけど。
About the badger, I don't think that ever leave the realm of imagination. There's no point in talking about it, is there? Acting like she didn't know, huh?
いや、そうじゃなく、そのちょっと前に気になったことがありまして。
No, I'm interested in something that came up before that.
狼、蛇、猿、カラスについては、眷属信仰とか蛇神の例を挙げておられましたよね。
You gave some examples of wolf, snake, monkey, and crow shrines, right? Even named some snake gods.
雲については何かないんです。
What about spider?
気づいた？
Oh, you noticed? She giggled in a somewhat creepy manner. Apparently it was easy to talk to her. That was about her specialty.
実はちょっと雲の眷属については心当たりがなくてね。勉強不足だわ。
I actually don't know of a single place worshipping a spider servant. I need to read up more.
でも確かにあんまり聞いたことがないですよね。雲の神様。
But it's not like spider gods are common, right?
そうなのよね。 雲の妖怪なら、いくつか心当たりがあるんだけど、
Yeah, I know a bunch of spider yokai though.
ムカデなら、毘沙門天の使いなんだけど、ほら、武田信玄のムカデ衆とか知らない？
I know that centipedes are Bishamonten's servants. You know about Shingen, Takeda's centipede army, right?
ああ。ムカデは前にしか進まないから、武将のシンボルには人気があったとか。
Yeah, it was a popular military symbol because centipedes can only go forward, right?
そうそう。昆虫じゃない虫のお仲間ってことで勘弁してくれない？
Yeah, isn't that good enough? They're close enough to spiders, right?
いやー、厳しいでしょう。
I wouldn't say so.
よね。
Thought so.
世界的に見ても、雲絡みの神って結構希少なのよね。
Spider gods are rare even if you look at the rest of the
そう
world.
なんです。
They are?
ええ。アフリカのアナンシとか、北米のイクトミとか。
Yes, there's the African the North American Ikitomi. No. Ikitomi.
他にも、インディアン系の神話には、なぜか雲モチーフが多いんだけど、実はちょっと面白い仮説が。
Besides that, there's a lot of spider-based stuff in Native American myths, and I have a theory about that. Oh? She looked behind me, so I turned around and saw Yasunaga-kun.
すみません。何されてるのかなと思って。
Sorry, I was just wondering what you were talking about.
ああ、オカルトのお勉強の続きよ。
Oh, we're just continuing the occult lesson.
僕が聞いたんだよ。さっきの空気だと、続けるの難しそうだったから。
I asked about it. It was hard to continue it in the dining hall.
なるほど。でも、あんまり良くないですよ。この状況で密談は。
I see, but you shouldn't have secret chats in this situation. We shouldn't, huh, Yasunaga? We're information gathering, though.
それは確かだけど、伝説を掘り下げとくのは大事だと思うからさ。あと、単純に興味深いし。
That's true, but unraveling the legends is important, and I'm just interested in it too.
それは同意見です。ああいうのが民族学って言うんですか？
I know what you mean. Is this what you call folkloristics?
いやいや、そう名乗ったら怒られるわよ。神話オタクトークというか、伝承ゴシップっていうか。
No. The actual specialists will get mad if you called it that. It's more like a mythology nut talk or folklore gossip. Oh, I thought the term would be mythologists.
興味あるなら、君も聞いていけば。その方が僕らも疑われずに済むし。
If you're interested, you can join us. It'll make us less suspicious.
そうだな。ちょっとなら。
Good point. I guess I'll hang around for a bit. We weren't saying anything that was worth hiding anyway.
雲の話をされてたんです。
Were you talking about spiders?
雲について、間宮久子のとんでも仮説。
Yes, I have an outrageous theory about it.
実は上松家は、オブジワインディアンの末裔だったんだよ。
The Uematsu family is actually descended from the OGBYA Native Americans. You think that? Even though they've been around for a while, according to the Nasato stuff?
なんだって？
What?
どういうことなんです？
What does that mean?
どういうことなんでしょう？
Yeah, what does that mean?
ネタが通じないと見るや、即座に見捨てたわね。まあいいけど。
You abandoned me the moment you realized that the joke didn't click. Oh well.
ドリームキャッチャーって知ってる？
You know about
アト
Dreamcatchers?
ラクションか何かです。
Is that an attraction or something? No, Yasuno. It's more of a tourist thing.
はい先生、僕知ってます。木と紐で作った網みたいなモビールっぽい吊り飾りですよね。
Oh, I know. It's the net thing made of string and wood. The mobile-like decoration.
正解。あれ、オブジワ族っていうインディアン部族の民芸品なんだけど、あれ実はクモの巣を模してるの。
That's right. Those things were first crafted by the Ojibwe Native American tribe, and it's actually based on the spider's web.
悪い夢をクモの巣に捕まえて、いい夢だけが子供に届くっていうのがドリームキャッチャーの名の由来。
Like it says in the name, it catches all the bad dreams and only lets through the good ones so that children can sleep
さ
well.
らにこのドリームキャッチャーの起源に関する話にはアシビカアシっていうキャラクターが出てくる。
Also, the story about the dream catcher speaks of a spider woman called Asibikashi.
なんか似てない？植松家の話と。
Sounds like Uematsu, right?
本当だ。黄泉の夢から人を守ったっていう雲と似てる。すごい。
It does. The spider was said to protect people from the dreams of Yomi. No, from Yomi. Amazing.
じゃあ、植松家は本当に何百年だか前に日本にやってきたインディアンが。
Then the Uematsu are actually Native Americans who came here centuries ago.
安永君、騙されてはいけない。
Yasunaga-kun, don't be fooled. Huh?
まあ 0.01% くらいの確率で当たってるかもしれないけど、多分これは偶然の一致。
Well, there's the faintest sliver of a chance that's true, but it's probably just a coincidence.
似たような伝説なんて世界中にあるし、その全てが単純に同一物だっていうのはちょっと苦しい。
There are similar legends all over the world, and it's hard to argue that they're actually all the same.
あれだ。日本人は実はユダヤ人だったとか、源義経はジンギスカンだったとか、そういう説もあるんだよ。
There's even theories that Japanese are actually Jews, and that Minamoto no Yoshitsune is actually Genghis Khan. That's kind of funny here, because in Mormon contexts, it's the Native Americans are actually Jews kind of thing. Like, there's no real proof towards it, but that's essentially what it is if you take their scriptural doctrine to be 100% truth. So that just has me laughing right there. But Minamoto no Yoshitsune is actually Genghis Khan's also another funny thing too.
え？チンギス・ハン？
What? Genghis Khan?
信じちゃダメだってば。こういう珍説奇説は T と長の字は形が似てるから元は同じだレベルの奇弁を含んでるものさ。
Don't just believe it. These theories have as much basis as the one that says that T and J have the same origin because they're similarly shaped.
そういうものなんですか。
I see.
世の中には道楽やら妄想やら支援やらで学問してる人も多いし、往々にしてそういう人の方が声が大きいの。
There are many people who get into these things out of boredom, delusion, or over a grudge, and they're often the loudest
そ
ones.
の妄想が夢を生むことは認めるけどね。それはあくまで害のない範囲で分別を持って楽しまないと。
I will admit that people's delusions are a source of dreams, but you should enjoy them with discretion. Oh.
話がずれたけど、さっきの話についてはさすがにインディアンの血筋なんて話はなかったにしても。
I went on a tangent there, but anyway, no, I don't think she has Native American blood.
すっごい大昔に口伝で伝わった伝承がたまたま残ってたとか、関連性が見つかる可能性もゼロじゃない。
But I do believe that it's not unlikely that it could be related to some very old folktale.
なるほど。
I see.
ところで、普 二人はユングって知ってる？心理学の基礎を作った一人で、いろいろ夢のある概念も提唱してる人なんだけど。
By the way, do you know Jung? He was one of the fathers of psychology and he proposed some fantastical concepts. Some of those concepts are used a lot in Persona. A lot of people talk about them. Like the show, the Persona, and everything else about that. If it's in the Persona series, it's likely been mentioned by Jung too.
倫理の参考書にちらっと載ってたような。
I think he was in one of my ethics workbooks.
集合無意識の話ですか？
Are you talking about the collective
そ
unconscious?
れにはつながるけど、難しい話はとりあえず置いといて。
It's related, but I'll leave the complex stuff aside for
ユ
now.
ングはさっき言ったみたいな神話や伝承の類似性は人類が共通で持ってるイメージから生まれると考えた。
Jung believed that similarities in legends and myths are born because of mental images that most of humanity can relate to.
人種も時代も関係ない。人間という種に普遍的なイメージ。似た神話が離れた国や文明で生まれるのはそのせいだって。
Race and era don't matter here. It's a universal image that all of mankind understands, and it's why similar myths can be created in different places and cultures.
随分思い切った推論ですね。それよりはさっきみたいに歴史のいつかに伝わったって方がありそうな。
That's a bold assumption. I actually think that what you said about history being the prime influence here is more
理
likely.
論は当然でしょう。でも彼はそう考えて、そういった人類共通のイメージを原型と名付けたの。
He has detractors, of course, but that's what he believed, and he gave the name archetype to these common images.
そしていくつかの原型を定義した。トリックスターとかアニマとか。
And he defines several such archetypes himself: trickster, anima, etc.
その中で雲はグレートマザーという原型を象徴するものとされてるの。
Among those, the spider is considered to symbolize a great
グ
mother.
レートマザー。
Great mother.
そう、大いなる母、すべてを生み、慈しみ、愛し、束縛し、執着し、貪り食って生み直す。
Yes, the
大いなる
mother.
守護神のイメージ。
Yes, the mother that gave birth to all, loves and cherishes all, as well as the one that binds all, obsesses over all, then consumes it all, only to birth them again. It's an Earth Mother sort of entity. In some ways, I'm reminded of both Gaia and the stories concerning the Mother Goddess. Like, I haven't actually read anything concerning the so-called Mother Goddess, but there's been mention of things I've looked at that people think that before the Bible and before that the epics of Gilgamesh, you had the Mother Goddess, and then sometime in the history the Mother Goddess is kind of downgraded to Eve and that. But again, I don't know too much concerning that. A historian and mythologist would likely be the two best places to ask about that.
雲は人類に共通的にそういうイメージを抱かせる、またはそういう行為や感情を想起させるってことらしいけど。
Humanity collectively sees that in the spider, or thinks of such things upon seeing it apparently.
もしそういう原型があるとすれば、遠く離れたアメリカ大陸と日本の全く接点がない2つの集団の間で、
If there really is such an archetype, it'd be no surprise that something embodying the idea of a spider weaving a net protecting the sleep of the children
この眠りを守るために糸を紡ぐ雲みたいな原型に基づく信仰が生まれることはあり得るかもね。
was born in both America and Japan with no real connection between the two.
なるほど。そういうのを調べるには心理学も関わってくるのか。
I'm guessing, no, I see, I'm guessing that's a psychology subject. Probably an anthropological subject more so, but I don't know for sure there.
いやまあ私はあくまでそんな夢物語を提案するだけの無責任な立場だから本気にはしないでね。
Hey, well, my role here is just presenting some weird, fantastical theories. Don't take it too
で
seriously.
も夢物語に対していろんな学問上のアプローチがあるっていうのは新鮮です。
But the fact that there are many ways to approach these theories is new to me.
でしょ。だから私はこの集落の信仰をちゃんとした方法で調べることができれば相当面白いと思っちゃうの。
I know what you mean. I'm sure I'd have a lot of fun if I could analyze the local faith properly.
面白いって言うとまた怒られるかしら。でも本当それでお金が出るなら自分で調べたいくらい。
Would saying it's fun make people mad though? But really, if I could make money off of it, I'd investigate it myself. That's kind of a strange thing to think about. Like, not too weird because it is a good thing to think about. But at the same time, some people don't really like their beliefs being investigated. Like, what she would do and probably what I would do because people just want to believe what they believe and they want it to be the truth. And really, we're all just surrounded by uncertainty and things. The only difference is those people that want to hold to their beliefs, they prefer the certainty that those beliefs bring them rather than the uncertainty and wanting to know.
そういうのどこで勉強できるんです？間宮さんは大学で学ばれたんですか？
Where can you study that kind of thing anyway? Did you learn it in college or something? You can probably also learn it on your own, Yasunaga. A lot of people have done that, and there's a reason that we've got libraries and that.
あれ安永くんは放送志望じゃないの？
Didn't you want to be a lawyer?
ええ、もちろんですよ。
Yes, of course.
大学は自分が勉強したいことを学ぶところだっていうのが私の先生の口癖だったけどね。
My teacher always used to say that college is a place where you learn what you want to learn. That is kind of true, but only after you get through the generals. Because before the generals, you can't really study that much at all of what you want.
もし気が変わったら紹介するわよ。大学の文化人類学部の先生。
If you change your mind, I'll introduce you to a cultural anthropologist from XX University.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you. Mommy-san left him a business card and said he could contact her anytime. He continued to ask her about folkloristics, looking really passionate about it. I really appreciated how people could bond over academic subjects in the most unexpected places. Well, I actually had another question
兄
myself.
ちゃんさっきから何やってるの？
E-chan, what are you doing here?
あ、ごめん。もう戻るよ。すみません、いろいろ。またよかったら。
Oh, no. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm heading back. Sorry about that. I'll talk to you again if you don't mind.
ええ、いつでも聞いて。
Not at all.
兄ちゃんってば
You sure? You sure get
ちょ
around.
っと待って。一体何の話？
Hold on, what do you mean? Haru is jealous. Perfect timing from Haru-chan.
もしかして一人の未来ある若者を泥沼に引きずり込んでしまったかな。
I feel like I might have ruined the future of a promising youth.
泥沼ってことはないでしょう。いや、オカルトライターとか言ったら、若干人生の泥沼じみてるかもしれませんが。
Ruined is a big word, though I won't deny that being an occult writer isn't an ideal occupation.
ひど。でも否定できないな。
Wow, so rude, but I can't deny that.
彼が学者さんを目指したいと思うなら、それは誰からも後ろ指刺されるようなことにはならないような。
But if he wants to be a scholar, I don't think anyone would make fun of him.
不採士くん、理系ね。
You're in sciences, right?
ま
あ。I guess you could say that.
文系の金にならなさっぷりを舐めたらあかんぜよ。と、言わせてもらおう。
Let me just tell you that you shouldn't underestimate how little money liberal arts majors make.
失礼しました。そうでした。
I'm sorry, I completely forgot.
かつくわー。ともかく、私たちも戻る？
Now I'm annoyed. Anyway, should we head back to?
その前に、
Before that.
さっき、雲の妖怪なら思い当たるっておっしゃいましたよね。一応、どんなのがいるか教えてもらえませんか？
You said you know yokai spider, right? Can you name some?
それこそ、女郎雲とか、火を操ったり、赤子を抱かせてきたり、伝承によってイメージはまちまちだけど。
Well, there's the Jorogumo. Depending on the legend, the image it gives off is a creature that commands fire and embraces children.
大体は、妖艶な美女で、男をどうこうする妖怪よね。
But mostly, it's an enchanting woman that does something to men.
源頼光が退治した土雲は、でっかい雲だけど、やっぱり美女に化けてるし。
The Tsuchigumo, defeated by Minamoto no Yorimitsu, was just a huge spider, but it could transform into a beautiful woman.
どっちかっていうと、雲は毒婦の原型なんじゃないかって気がしますね。
Sounds to me like the spider's archetype. Is evil woman.
ブラックウィドウもそうだしね。
I know what you mean. There are black widows too. We laughed a bit chatting, with Mamiya-san always entertaining.
妖怪については、あとはモブ的な大雲伝説がちらほらってところかしら。
There's also some legends about minor spider yokai, I
の
guess.
創作も入るなら、雲の糸は神田が救ったのはただの雲だけど、糸を垂らしてるのはブッダだし。
For something more modern, there's the spider's thread. Kandata spared a simple spectator, but the one who let the thread down was Buddha.
なるほど。上松家の装束は仏教と混ざってますもんね。関係があるかはさておいて。
I see. The Uematsu's clothing was Buddhist influence. No, it has Buddhist influences too. I don't know if that's relevant though.
あとはもう、雲の神といえば創作神話とかしか思いつかないわね。アトラクナクアとか。
Besides that, all they have is pure fiction, like Atlak Nacha.
そっちに行っちゃうと、他のお守りも全部考え直しですよ。
If you go there, you'd have to rethink all the other guardians.
言えてる。ティンダロスの猟犬に、バルーシアのヘビ人間に、猿はいたっけ？ウェンディゴ？
That's true. The Hound of Tindalos, Valsuia, Serpent Men, Monkey. What's good for a monkey? Wendigo?
しかし、なんででしょうね。
日本の雲の神が少ないのは。
I wonder why there aren't many Japanese spider gods. That could be a good question there. Maybe there aren't too many spiders there, but there would have to be some, otherwise you wouldn't have series like Hellgirl that features spiders a lot.
不気味だからじゃないかしら。やっぱりモンスターになるのが関の山だったとか。
Because they're creepy, ending up as monsters must have been the best they could do.
八百万の神の国なのに猟犬の狭い。
Unexpectedly shallow for the country that came up with the concept of Yoruzu. That there's a god in everything.
もう少し真面目に考えるなら、神道的には今の日本は天津神のものだからとかは？
If you think about this more seriously, then it might be because Japan is the country of Amatsukami.
天津神ですか。
Amatsukami?
そうそう。雨のみなか主に始まって、イザナギ、イザナミを経由して、アマテラスや天孫、ニニギにつながる系譜。
Yeah, the lineage starting with Amino Mina Kanushi, then going to Izanagi and Izanami, then Amaterasu, then the heavenly grandson Ninigi.
ちなみに、ニニギの3代後が初代天皇である神武天皇だから、そこから続く今の皇族は天津神の末裔になるわね。
The first emperor of Japan, Jinmu, came 3 generations after Ninigi, so the current imperial family would be the descendants of Amatsukami.
イザナギ、イザナミの前に神がいたんです。
There were gods before Izanagi and Izanami. Well, I shouldn't be too surprised about hearing that. After all, the Titans predated the Olympians, and the Titans were predated by Chaos and Nyx, as well as Gaia. So I'm not too surprised that there are some before those two.
結構いっぱいいるわよ。あの夫婦は国と神をたくさん産んだけど、天地開闢と同時に神は生まれてるから。
Tons. They created the country and lots of other gods. But there were gods born alongside the creation of heaven and earth.
それはともかく、そういった天の国、高間ヶ原をルーツに持つ神々が天津神で。
Anyway, gods with roots in heaven. Takamagahara are considered Amatsukami.
一方で、高間ヶ原を放逐されたスサノオを筆頭とし、地上の世界に住み着いた神が国津神たち。
While those who left Takamagahara and ended up living on Earth like Susanoo are Kinusukami.
で、ある時に天津神たちが芦原の中津国は俺らが仕切るって言い出して、あ、日本のことね。
Then the Matsukami said they'd control Ashihara Nanakatsu-uni. That's Japan, by the way.
吸ったもんだの挙句になんとか交渉成立。国津神たちはかの出雲大社に陰性して芦原の中津国の支配を譲り渡した。
After much wrangling, they ended up striking an agreement. The Kunisukami ended up living a secluded life in the Uzumo Grand Shrine and handed control over Ashihara Nonakatsukuni to Amatsukami.
その後、さっきの神武天皇は都を作るために統制をやって、 長スネヒコっていう強敵や数々の土雲を
After that, Emperor Jinmu traveled east to make his city, then defeated powerful enemies like Nagasune Hiko and the numerous Tsuchigumo. A lot of Tsuchigumo, huh? So it's not just one. So the Tsuchigumo were probably like the Ozdha of Persian myth.
あ、この土雲は妖怪じゃなくて先住の地方豪族に対する別称なんだけど、とにかく彼らを征伐して
That's not the yokai, by the way. It's a derogatory name for the clans that used to live here anyway. Conquered them.
それでようやく今の大和の国の基盤ができましたよというのが古事記ベースでいう日本の建国神話になるわけ。
And finally built the foundation of the current Yamamoto. That's what the Kochi Key says about the creation of this country.
そんな難しい話だったんです。僕はイザナギイザナミと天の岩戸とオロチ退治ぐらいしか知らなかったな。
It was that complicated. I only knew Izanagi, Izanami, Amano Iwato, and the defeat of Orochi.
まあこれだけ権威主義的な国だから神話もごついのが必要だったんでしょう。っていうと不敬になるかな。
Well, it's a pretty authoritarian country, so its myths represent that. That's kind of disrespectful, isn't it?
ともかく話を戻すと国つかみはしばしば天つかみに嫁入りしたりして血脈は継いでるけど主流として語られることは少ない。
Anyway, back to the matter at hand. And though Kunisukami married the Amatsukami in some cases, they're rarely considered to be the main ones.
日本神話の世界では男系相続が基本だから必然。この国は天つかみの末裔の国ってことになるかな。
In the world of Japanese myth, the male lineage takes precedence. So it means that this country belongs to the descendants of Amatsukami.
それこそさっき言った蛇の神大物主なんかは国つかみだけど天つかみの方がやっぱりメジャーでしょ。
Consider the aforementioned snake god, Umon Onushi. He's in Kunisukami, and you can see that Amatsukami are more prevalent.
久石くんの口からさっき出たお話もスサノオはちょっと微妙だけどまあ大体天つかみの物語と言えるし。
The story you mentioned, the one about Sasano, is pretty vague in that regard, but you can still interpret it as an Amatsukami story.
そうですね。
That's true.
だから実は雲の神とかもいるけどそういう地を這う虫や動物の神々って国つかみにカテゴライズされちゃってて。
So yeah, they're spider gods, but they've been categorized as Kunisukami.
大国主や大物主みたいな一部を除けばみんなドマイナーとして忘れられたのかもってね。
And if you ignore Oninushi and Omonushi, they're all very minor.
なるほど。なるほど。
I see.
いや、非常に興味深い話でした。
Well, that was interesting, I
ご
see.
めんね。ちゃんと答えを出せなくて。
Sorry, I couldn't give you a proper answer.
まあ、どっちにしろ時間潰しですから、むしろ付き合わせちゃって申し訳ないです。
Well, I'm just killing some time here. Sorry for bothering you.
いえいえ、こっちも気が紛れたわ。
Don't worry, I enjoyed it
ちえ
too.
みちゃんとモッチーにも教えてあげようかな。
Maybe you should tell it to Chiemi-chan and Mochi too.
その二人も神話に興味が
They're interested in myths?
そうみたいですね。
I guess so.
しかし戻るのやだな。食堂はどうしても息が詰まります。
But man, I don't want to go back there. The dining hall's too tense. Anyway, I left a line that pretty much implied that I knew who the wolves were. Maybe she'd start panicking and kill me? That'd make things easier for me. Nothing? I turned around and saw no one. So she ignored it, or maybe she just broke things off for her own safety. I might have underestimated her. She clearly wasn't the type of person to panic and kill someone in daytime and suffer the corruption. I had no choice then. I considered trying something or another in this timeline again, but in the end I decided to just jump into Saranaga. The things I'd learned today made it impossible for me to sit still. It was such a major key to this mystery. I had to bring it into the me in the next loop as soon as possible. After gathering my resolve, I took a step forward. Gravity vanished. Right before I died, I thought about my one regret. It was the chat from before. Talking about history and the occult alongside Mamiya-san and Yasunaga-kun was a lot of fun. Yasunaga-kun seemed to be enjoying himself a lot too. What a waste. I got to talk about the settlement's interesting history and had a lot of fun doing it, and shared this pleasure with Yasunaga-kun. Yet it all be gone now. Oh. I felt like I just gained another reason to end this nightmare. I'd love to chat with them about the occult as normal people, not just as potential wolves or humans. Maybe we'd drink over it too. Oh right. Yasunaga-kun was underage. I crashed into the ground. Key 9. Myth and Archetype. You can view it in the keys list. The root unlocked by this key is represented by the same number on the scenario chart. Alright, I got one key, so I'm gonna take this chance to take a break because it feels like I need a drink and I should probably check on some things too. Those things I can check on when I get back though. But if you guys need something to do, be sure to check out today's question of the day. If you don't see it, the command in the title of the stream while I'm live should bring it up, and I will check on that when I get back. Alright, I'm back. Let me check on chat here. Okay. Nothing there. And then one more place to check. Alright. So looks like we're good. So now we can continue. So we have key 9 right now. Now let's take a look at where that goes. Because right now we've got Jamie, Kinosuke, and then we have one other person to deal with. So that's gonna be over here. Let's check it out. Okay, so that one did everything. Okay, so we didn't need as many over here. So this is what I should do.
皆さんから見れば、僕なんじゃないですか。こんな時に外から来て、素性も知れなくて。
From everyone's perspective, it's me. I came at such a suspicious time. You all know nothing about me.
てめえがうさんくさいのと、狼かどうかは関係ねえ。
Yeah, you're shady, but that's got nothing to do with being a wolf. A considerate response from him, something wasn't right here. What was I to do here? Got it. Alright. So yeah, what's been confusing me was that I wasn't seeing the keys that they gave me, but essentially I get the feeling it was supposed to be Isako, Jamie, and then this guy. With Kinosuke being around the last. That's the kind of feeling that I get, that it should have been, but oh well. So let's go ahead and ask him. That was right, I just remembered. Did my memories carry over in a weird way because the method from back then was weird? Well, then again, this wouldn't be the first time my memories didn't carry over properly. Maybe I should have counted myself lucky for remembering at all. I had tons of things to think about. About the beast in the village. The giant monster. And now that we know that Tsuchigumo is a spider yokai, that it actually does look like a spider, just a giant one that we saw. The dream enveloping Fujiyoshi, as well as the looping sheep, had told me about. But this wasn't the time to worry about that. The old man before me was one who'd survived the past tragedies in Fujiyoshi. With the old wolf guy being a pain to talk to, I had to rely on him instead. But how was I supposed to talk to him? It looked like there was just one way.
僕ですよ。
It's me.
狼は僕です。
I am a wolf. On hearing that,
てめえが狼だと。
you're a wolf? He didn't take out his gun. His expression showed nothing but total confusion.
わかりますよ。あなたの経験では、 狼は絶対に自首しない。
I know from your experience wolves never reveal themselves.
人は嘘をつかない。とりわけ自滅的な嘘は。だからあなたは僕の真意が読めないんだ。
Of course, the humans don't lie, so you can't even imagine why anyone would say something so suicidal. Shut it. He finally pointed his gun at me, but his lateness told me just how hesitant he was. I controlled the pace of the conversation.
僕がこれを明かしたのは、僕がこの村の外で育ったものだからですよ。
I revealed this because I'm someone who grew up outside the village.
僕は神様の呪縛にはかかっていませんから。
I'm not bound by God's curse. Not yet, anyway.
通じないか。まあいいです。とにかく、あなたがこれまで見てきたのは、よそ者のいない閉鎖的な宴でしょ。
You don't understand? Okay, well, just keep in mind that the feasts from before were isolated and didn't have any
あなた
outsiders.
の経験は、よそ者が混じった宴には通用しない。まあ、あまり警戒しないでください。
Your
あ
experience,
りません。
your experience doesn't apply to a feast with outsiders. Don't be so concerned, though. I mean no harm. I sat down on the ground, extending my hurting leg forward.
撃っても、構いませんよ。
Shoot me if you want.
ただ、過半数の合意を得ずに殺しをすれば、たとえ一日一冊の制限内でも違反になる。
Though I'm sure you're aware that a murder without the majority's approval is against the rules, even if it doesn't break the one per day law. I confirmed that during my looping with Jamie.
脳ガキはいい。てめえの用を言え。
Get to the point.
よーって言うんじゃないですよ。僕は、あなたに同情してるんです。
There's no point, I just feel bad for you. Huh? I had to apologize to the cat Ari-san and Haru-chan of this
お
timeline.
じいさんと孫で殺し合わなきゃならないなんて、ひどい話です。
It must be awful for a grandfather to have to kill his granddaughter.
僕は、そんな局面で自分だけが生き残りたいなんて、思えないんですよ。
I wouldn't want
だ
to
けだ。
I wouldn't want to be the only survivor of such an awful situation. It's too heavy a burden.
だから、あなたに直接聞きに来たんです。
That's why I came here to talk to you.
てめえ、今なんつった？
What did you just say?
おじいさんと孫で殺し合わなきゃならない。
It must be awful for a grandfather to have to kill his granddaughter. Huh? He didn't fire, but he sent a solid kick flying at my solar plexus, knocking the wind from my lungs.
てめえは狼だから嘘を言っとる。
You're a wolf, you gotta be lying.
もし、そうなら、僕はそもそも正体を明かさない。
Cough, cough. If that's the case, I wouldn't have revealed myself at all.
まあ、わかりますが、僕は確かに狼ですし、話してることは全て真実ですよ。
Well, I understand, though I'm a wolf and all I'm saying is true.
ならばなぜ言った？
Then why'd you say it?
こう言えば納得しますか？
Will you get it if I say this?
孫を殺したくないなら、他の人を皆殺しにしてください。
If you don't want to kill your granddaughter, kill everyone else. Another kick, it came from my face and hit my head, making me see stars.
狼はくくる。孫でも。
I'll hang all the wolves, even my granddaughter.
ええ。あなたはそう言うでしょう。僕は構いません。そっちが選ばれても。
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. I don't mind if you choose
し
that.
かしそれは、本気ですか？
But are you really sure?
僕は命を懸けてここにいます。ただ一つ、あなたと腹を割って話したいから。
I'm putting my life on the line here, and it's only because I want to open up to
だ
you.
から、 あなたも腹を割って話していただけませんか？
So could you please respond in kind?
僕はただ納得して死にたいだけだ。そのためにあなたに聞きたい。
I just want to understand before I die. That's why I want to ask you something.
これまでに参加してきた宴の経験則、あなたの人生観を支えてきた鉄の掟を取るのか、それとも孫を取るのか。
Specifically about your experience in the previous feasts and whether you'll sacrifice the laws that have supported you or your
教え
granddaughter.
てください、牧島勘三さん。
Please tell me, Kanzo Makishima-san. Kanzo is hesitating, unlike the person that he resembles, Heihachi.
てめえは信用できねえ。
I can't trust you. Of course he couldn't. But he couldn't ignore or kill me either.
座られたらどうですか？どうせ僕は今一人では動けません。
Why
時
not
間
sit?
はまだあるでしょう。
Why not sit down? I can't move right now and we still have time. He silently sat down right before me, cross-legged. The conversation was slow and sporadic. He asked if I and Haru-chan really were wolves over and over again. Well, what he was mostly conflicted about was whether or not to harm his granddaughter after all. Thus I said this.
少し安心しました。
I'm
なん
relieved.
じゃ。
What?
あなたがちゃんと悩んでいる。
You're actually conflicted about this.
狼になった途端、殺人をためらわなくなったハルちゃんと違って、
Haru-chan didn't hesitate to murder the moment she became a wolf.
あるが、そうだ。
Really?
ええ。香織さんもね。反対した僕は逆に殺されそうになりました。
Yes, Kaori-san too. I was against it and I almost died because of it.
狼になれば、どんなものでも、
Anyone who,
狼になる。
anyone who becomes a wolf ends up a wolf to the core. It's interesting that he says that. Like, we've seen it happen, but I want to see what he has to say here about his experiences, if it has anything to do with it.
春まで。なぜ？
Even Haru? Or why?
あなたは、これまでの宴では、ずっと人側だったんですね。
You were human in the other feasts, right?
前のことを教えてくれませんか？
Can you tell me more about them? Thus he started talking. He participated in 2 feasts in the past. This was his 3rd. But as far as he knew, there was another feast before that. It happened about 60 years ago. Shortly after he was born, the mists came and many died. It coincided with World War II. Youths from both Kami Fujiyoshi and Yasumizu were drafted to the battlefield, so most of the ones who died in the feast were the elderly, women, and children. After that, Yasumizu, which once had dozens of people, quickly deteriorated. Deaths weren't the only cause. Some just fled.
その時のことはよくわからん。ただ後々、年寄りどもは口々にあんなはずはなかったと言うておった。
I don't know much about that time, but the elders said that it wasn't supposed to happen.
どういう意味でしょうか？
What do you mean?
知らん。狼が本当に出るとは誰も思うておらんかったと。
No idea. They just said that the wolf should have never actually appeared. His explanation was so full of holes that I didn't really understand. However, it seemed like until the event during the war, the Feast of the Yomi Purge wasn't considered a paranormal event. Most couldn't believe that the Okami had actually appeared. It shocked everyone. They began to think that they'd angered the mountain. Some of the elderly believed that the Fujiyoshi blood spilled in the war had awakened the wolves. It happened just 60 years ago, but it greatly spread the darkness of this local superstition. Apparently something that happened in Yasumizu at the time helped too. Kanzo-san just said that people were killed, and I couldn't tell whether Kanzo-san didn't know the details or if he found it so detestable he didn't want to say it. Whatever the case, the main topic of conversation happened a while after that. It was the other two feasts, the ones he'd participated in. He said that there are no mists for a whole 40 years after the feast in the war. The war ended during this time, and though some tried to fix it, Yasumizu was in an awful state. People died, the workforce was lost, poverty became worse. Some still living went to work away from home, causing the place to deteriorate even further. However, Kanzo-san felt that the main cause of this awful state was the darkness of superstition clouding the locals' hearts. Kanzo-san could remember how, when he was young, everyone just worked the fields with cloth over their faces, constantly afraid of something. Those cloths were an item used in the mountain Shinai festival. Their purpose was to prevent eye contact with Yomibito. Though Kanzo-san himself used it to keep the sun out of his eyes and to prevent his game from sensing his vision. But at the core, it was an unreasonable tool born of superstition. Anyways, the village became more and more unreasonable. The mists came. It happened about 15 years ago. At that time, Tai-san and Chiemi, who was still in her first year of elementary school, were participating in an event in Kamifujiyoshi, so they ended up avoiding the incident. The two village heads who are in Yasumizu right now weren't here to begin with, while Takumi-san was already an adult working away from home. Haru-chan was born just a year before, and since her parents were on vacation, she'd also avoided the tragedy.
旅行ですか？小さい子を連れて、安水から？
They were on a trip away from Yasumizu with a small child.
嫁は学校の先生じゃった。実家が隣町で里帰りよ。
My son's wife was a teacher from a nearby town. She went back to her
な
parents.
るほど。しかしよく外のものを休みずに嫁入りさせる決心がつきましたね。ギリギリよそ者じゃないってとこですか。
I see, I'm impressed he decided to marry someone from of Yasumizu. She was pretty much an outsider, huh? I would have put that out there as outside, and that's how I wanted to read it. Oh well.
もちろん、よう思わんものは多かった。
Some complained about
美しさ言うたものよ。
Some complained about it, especially Taiba.
あなたは反対しなかったんですか？
You weren't against it?
逆よ。この時期向こうの里に行けるなら安心じゃろ。
The opposite, I'd rest easy knowing they could leave Yasumizu at this time of
逃
year.
げられたのはその時だけじゃったが。
It was the only time they'd ever escaped, though. Anyway, the only ones who'd experienced the feast and were still alive were Kanzo-san and the old wolf guy.
今のと何も変わらん宴じゃった。
It was a feast like this one.
皆、最初はくくりたがらん。狼は迷わず血祭りを始め
No one wanted to hang anyone the first day, then the wolves killed someone.
る。加護者が名乗れば偽物も立つ。しまいには票で決める。起きてから外れれば汚れじゃ。
You had a fake for every guardian, receiver, no one trusted anyone, and then voted. Go against the rules and get the corruption. This is interesting. about why there were so many fakes, because the monkeys can't really fake anything and they don't have any advantage, so why would every guardian be faked?
掟に挑んだ者もおった。逃げて山ん中で死んだり、物入りをせんで死んだり。
Some tried, they died in the mountains or cause they didn't find or cause they didn't shelter.
この宴で、樋口の跡取りも死んだ。織部の、安や吉の、親父よ。
This feast killed the Higuchi heir, Oribe's, Yasu's, and Yoshi's dad. I'd heard of that. He was killed by the wolves on the first day. He was either wise enough for the wolves to see him as a threat, or they just hated him. Both were likely, but I didn't care about that
ど
now.
うして長者であった彼が休みずへ
Why would a village head come to Yasumizu?
奴は、休みずにまともな水場を作ると言うて一人で乗り込んできよった。
He came here by himself to make a proper watering hole.
樋口の中の争いで、面倒を任されたに決まっとるが。
The Higuchi family fought over who'd get this dirty job. Ah, so Kaori's husband was the one that established the dining hall, huh?
狙ったような時期に
And it coincided with the feast? Was it planned?
実際、この時期に休みず送りはよくある。てめえもそうじゃ、兄ちゃん。
Many get sent here at this time of year. You're one too.
なるほど。いやしかし、よそ者をこの時期に呼ぶことは少なかったのでは
I see, but wasn't it unusual to invite outsiders at this time of year?
そいつは確かだ。そもそも記者やらが休みずに入ったのが、ねえことよ。
That's true. It's also the first time a journo came to Yasumizu. The first time a journalist came to Yasumizu, but we had a lot of outsiders and such according to the Nasato documents. The fact that outsiders were invited at all was way more suspicious than the timing of it. Anyway, about 10 people died in the feast and Yasumizu lost a third of its population. It was awful. Kanzo-san was just a human without any guardian. Half of the participants were old people who'd either experienced the last feast or were in the war. Naturally, they could make awfully cruel decisions, and some tried to go against the rules, leading to severe punishments at the hands of the corruption.
わしは何もできねえで。
I couldn't do anything.
ただ恐ろしいのを隠して、むっつり黙っとった。
I just hid from the scary stuff and didn't say a thing.
その時の一番のじじいが言った。肝臓てめえ、よく見とけ。わしらが死ねばお前が宴を回すんじゃ。
The eldest there told me to watch and learn, cause I'd be the one running Yasumizu if they died. Is that your father, Kanzo?
そいつも狼に血祭りにされよったがの。
He got brutalized by the wolves soon after.
狼は誰だったんですか
Who were the wolves?
3匹のうち2匹は未だわからん。
We only found out one of the 3.
じゃが最後にくくったのはトールのわしのせがれと同い年の娘。
But the last one we hanged was a girl about as old as Toru, my son.
今思い出してもゾッとする。
Remember it, and it still gives me the chills.
器量のええ娘が鬼みてえな面でわしらを呪いながら縄にかかって落ちる時の
As she got the noose on her and fell, that well-behaved girl cursed us with the face of a demon. He probably was a wolf, because that sounds a lot like what Mamiya did once she was hanged. I knew that feeling well due to all my looping, but I couldn't really say it.
その後残ったもんで宴の始末して、もちろんあのじじいはフラフラしてやがったがな。
After that, we finished up the feast. The old fart's been like that back then too. The old wolf
戻
guy.
ってきたタイバーとせがれたちにゃ事故が起きた。じゃが心配するな。そう言って聞かせた。
When they came back, I told Taiba, my son, and everyone else that there'd been an accident, but there was nothing to worry about.
小せえチーはビビってしばらく塩ラッシュなったのよ。わしは便所に呼んだりして。
Little Chi was scared and got all quiet for a while. She even asked me to go with her to the bathroom at night.
匠が戻ってきて、織部の神さんが安連れて休みぞ送りにされてきた。
Takumi
よ
came
しがおった。
Takumi came back right after Higuchi's wife was sent here with Yasu. She had Yoshi in her.
それが初めの宴よ。
That was the first feast.
ちなみに、宴が始まる前に、安水で何か事件は起きませんでしたか？
If I may ask, did something happen in Yasumizu before the feast began?
なんじゃそれは。
What do you mean?
何でもいいです。長者が目に留めそうな大きな事件なら。
Anything big enough for the village heads to take notice?
その何年か前、ここら中で病が流行った。ありゃ、ひどかった。何十人かは死によった。
A few years before,
死ぬ寸前よ。
a few years before that, there had been an illness here. It was hell. Dozens died, and I was on the verge too. So this was the cholera incident, huh? Or the cholera outbreak.
それは、何の病気でしたか？
What illness was it?
知らん。ひでえ腹下しの病だ。
I don't know. Gave everyone bad diarrhea, though. Was that relevant?
じゃあ、その次の宴というのは、
What about the next feast?
8年前、大雨の後、霧が出た。野里の工事現場が崩れて、何人だか埋まってから宴が始まった。
8 years ago, after a bad rain, the mists came again. It started after the landslide in the Nasato construction site. They buried some people. It started after the landslide in the Nasato construction site. Alright. I already knew some things about that feast. During it, the children Tai-san and Kaori-san were in Komi Fujiyoshi, and it killed Haru-chan's parents. Gensan, one of the survivors, mentioned something about the badger, and Haru-chan somehow survived the mist. Kanzo-san added more information to that. Takumi-san had been working away from home again. And Kanzo-san was the crow. He was absolutely certain that his son, Toru Makishimashi, was a wolf.
せがれは、
My
せ
son.
がれも、カラスだと名乗りやがった。
My son said he was the crow.
嫁が、富子が泣きおる前で、わしとせがれは、罵り合い、てめえが狼だと、わめき合った。
Tomiko, his wife, cried as my son and I shouted at each other, saying that the other's a wolf.
それで、姉妹にはあいつと並んで、投票させられた。最後くぐられたのは、あいつじゃった。
In the end, there was a vote. He's the one who ended up hanging.
最後まで、あいつは言い続けた。
He kept saying it until the end.
自分が本物のカラスじゃと。それで、親父が狼じゃと。まっすぐな目で、
He said he was the real crow and that I was a wolf. There wasn't a bit of lies in his eyes. And I'm not really surprised about that. This is a good example of people dying because of lies that they believe in. A lot of people want to say that they died thinking that their beliefs were true, and that is kind of a true thing, that the people believe that their beliefs are true. But when it comes out to light, it ends up being revealed as a lie. But in terms of religions like Mormonism, Christianity, and all that within afterlife, you can't really be sure, because at the end of the day, all religion promises you is things that it can't really promise. In other words, it's empty promises. So you can't verify if they're right or not. And this is just a good example of that kind of thing happening.
わしは自分がカラスでなければ信じたろう。
If I wasn't the crow, I would have believed him.
その時もただジジイとババアがあいつに入れただけでわしもくくられる瀬戸際よ。
Back then, only the elders voted for him, and it was really close. I almost got hanged.
それで
And
その晩に一人血祭りになって
someone got brutalized that night.
あとはわしを狼じゃと思って殺そうとしたか物意味を破った嫁の富子が汚れを受けて
Hold on, guys. I just want to check something over here. Okay. Nothing really to be too concerned about. Let's see. I'm back to this, and Tomiko, thinking that I was a wolf, tried to kill me at night and got the corruption because she didn't shelter.
霧が晴れた
The next morning, the mist cleared.
なんですって。血祭りの後に何もしていないのに、霧が晴れた？
What? It cleared though you didn't do anything after the brutalization? Haru-chan's parents' final moments sparked some emotions from me, but I had to comment on that.
本当に血祭りでしたか？狼が何か間違えて、汚れを受けただけじゃ。
Was it really brutalization? Are you sure the wolves didn't mess up and suffer the corruption?
いいや斧の一発綺麗なもんよ
No, it was a clean axe kill.
その時までに、確実に葬っていた狼は何人いました？
How many wolves did he kill until then?
狼3匹のうちせがれだけよカラスのわしには分かった
Out of the 3 wolves, only my son. I was the crow, so I knew. The mist cleared with 2 wolves still alive. That was supposed to be impossible. The feast rules didn't allow that. Wolves could only die during the day, and since one of them killed someone during the night, the wolves had to be alive. Yet the mist cleared despite that? That was supposed to be impossible. Or maybe it was unnatural to assume that the mist, a natural phenomenon, was directly linked with the feast, a man-made one. If the mist was actually somehow controlled by humans, then maybe it wasn't unlikely for it to clear due to some mistake. It would make sense if that happened this time. It would also explain the Genson thing. If he'd been a wolf and accidentally survived, it would solve the contradiction of Konzo-san, a human still being alive while a wolf was able to leave that crucial bit of info. If there was a way to control the mist, it probably wasn't linked to the control of the loop. Still, maybe it'd be useful if I'd keep this in mind.
はるちゃんのことは、
What about Haru-chan?
わしは聞いただけじゃ。
I only know what I heard.
春はせがれがくくられた晩に休みずに入ったかもしれんが、
She
誰も王者おらん。
might have entered Yasumizu the evening in my son was hanged, but no one saw her.
次の日、霧が晴れたんですよね。
Oh, the mist cleared after that, right? Had the mist cleared because of God?
とにかく、それで宴が終わって、
So the mist ended there.
匠も呼び戻して、また始末よ。
And I called Takumi to help clean up.
それで、はるちゃんがおかしくなって、
Then Haru-chan became weird.
わしはただ事故じゃと言った。
I told her it was an accident.
お前の父ちゃんと母ちゃんは霧に巻かれて崖から落ちて死んだと。
That her parents got lost in the mist and fell off the cliff.
言えるわけがね
I couldn't say it.
え。父ちゃんが狼になって母ちゃんが細切れになったなんぞ言えるわけがね
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell her that her dad was a wolf or that her mom got torn apart, right? Konzo-san was unusually talkative. The strange wolf before him made the rough, silent old man reveal things he wanted to take to his grave.
ただし、
You were right to do so.
え。それでも春にとっちゃ
Still the
親が亡く
girl.
なったことは変わらん。
Still, the girl lost her parents,
春はおかしゅうなった。
so she got weird.
狼つきですか。
Wolf possession, right?
それもよ。じゃが素直なええ子じゃったのが拗ねたわがままな子になってしもうた。
That's one thing. She'd also been a good, cheerful girl, and it made her all edgy and
あ
selfish.
んな格好をしてあの時に持っとった水筒を未だに下げておる。
She started wearing those clothes and still carried around that bottle she'd had with her at the time.
それは、どうかな。
I'm not sure about that.
狼つきの件はともかく、彼女の態度や趣味が変わったように感じられるのは、あなたの気のせいかもしれません。
I don't know about the possession, but I feel like the changes in her behavior, tastes are just in your imagination.
あなたがはるちゃんに対して壁を作っていたから、彼女も同じようにしただけかもしれない。
Maybe it's only happening because you built a wall between you and her, and she just did the same.
ええに何がわかる。
Don't act like you
わ
know.
かります。同じ狼ですよ。
I do, we're both
あ
wolves.
なたが知れない、彼女の内面を、
I saw glimpses of her true
彼女
personality.
はびっくりするくらい素直です。いや、貪欲と言ってもいい。
You'd be surprised how honest she is. I'd almost call it
言
greedy.
われたこと、与えられたものをどんどん詰め込んで、したたかに成長する。才覚と呼べるほど、素直でいい子だ。
She's a good, honest girl who takes in whatever she hears and matures like the teen she is. I'd call her talented just for that.
嫌味なしに、いい子、いい人間です。こんなことがなければ交際を申し込みたいほど、魅力のある少女です。
I can honestly call her a good girl, a good person if it weren't for the situation I'd asked to be in a relationship with her. She's that charming.
事件の後、彼女に真相を蹴取られることを恐れて、距離を取って、何も与えることをしなくなったのは、
Then there's you. You were afraid that she might find out the truth, so you distanced yourself from her and refused to give her
あ
anything.
なたじゃないんですか、カゾウさん。
Right, Konzo-san? You didn't get mad at me. He just cast his eyes down. This wasn't the energetic, strong hunter I knew, but an old man caught in the throes of regret. What a shame. It was sad, sad that this would become nothing but a dream. This exchange that could perhaps remove the wall between the old man and his granddaughter would be gone. Oh well. I'd have to solve it all anyway. I'd try to fix their family relations too. It wasn't necessary for Haru-chan and I to be wolves for my words to resonate with him.
狼3匹のうち、せがれだけよ。カラスのわしにはわかった。
Out of the 3 wolves, only my son. I was the crow, so I knew.
あんな格好をして、あの時に持っとった水筒を未だに下げておる。
She started wearing those clothes and still carried around that bottle she'd had with her at that time. I also solved a few more mysteries. This was a good time to end it.
さて、肝臓さん、そろそろ戻らなきゃ。みんなが心配します。
Now, Kanzo-san, you need to go back. Everyone's worried.
戦せ。連れて行く。
Give me your shoulder. I'll take ya.
何を寝ぼけてるんですか？
What are you saying?
あなたには、狼を殺すか、人を裏切って人を皆殺しにするか、その2択しかないんだ。
Your only choices are killing the wolves or betraying the humans and killing them.
だったら、今僕を殺すか、僕をここに置いて、皆を殺しに行くか。
That's why you can only kill me or leave me here and kill everyone else.
そのどちらかでいいはずでしょう。
Right? Oh.
あなたが、ハルちゃんを大事に思っていることは、十分わかりました。
I know full
他の人だって大事でしょう。
I know full well that Haru-chan is important to you, but so are the others, right?
僕と香織さんと、ハルちゃんを殺せば、最低限の犠牲で勝利できる。投票にしろ殺人にしろ、あなたならそれができる。
If you kill Kaori-san, Haru-chan, and I, you'll win this with minimal casualties by a vote or by bullet. I'm sure you can do that.
織部兄弟や匠さんや、ご老人たちや、長者たち。彼らにも罪はないんです。
The Oribe brothers, Takumi-san, the elders, and the village heads are blameless
あな
here.
たは、それを決められる立場にある。宴でやらなきゃとか、眠いことを言わないでください。
That's why you have to decide right now. Don't act like you care about whether the feast happens today.
まあ、宴で同意を経て殺さないと、汚れを受けるんですけどね。
Well, I know that you'll suffer the corruption if you don't get the others to agree.
あなたはきっと、汚れ覚悟で、人か狼かを皆殺しにかかることを選ぶでしょう。
But I'm sure that you'll choose to massacre either the humans or the wolves, even if it means getting the corruption.
ハルちゃんのために死ぬなら命はなくなるし、ハルちゃんを殺して自分が生き残る選択は、あなたはしないはずだ。
Dying for Haru-chan is an option, and so is killing Haru-chan, but surviving yourself, and I know you won't pick either option.
わしにはわからん。
I don't get it.
てめえ、一体何を考えてる？
What are you after? Would the sheep get mad at me if I just said I just wanted to die quickly and naturally move on to the next time? That was the absolute truth. But the thing I really wanted to say now
牧
was,
島勘三さん、僕はね、
Kanzo
あ
Makishima-san,
なたが善人でないと困るんです。
I need you to be a good person.
正しいと思う選択をしてください。
Please do what you believe is right. That done, I closed my eyes. After a long period of hesitation, I heard a metallic sound come from his rifle. His breathing was already steady. He'd made his decision. It'd be bad for me if I just died here and there was no loop. However, I did find it sad that this man's resolve would become nothing but a dream. Alright, so we got 2 of them right now. Obtain key 19. Hunter's Confession. You can view it in the keys list. The route unlocked by this key is represented by the same number on the scenario chart. Alright. So let me check the keys that I've got. But we're still doing good on time right now. These are definitely going quick, so we're missing number 1. We've got every key from 2 to 20 though. Wow. Alright. So every key from 2 to 20. Alright. That's nice progress there. Alright. I'm gonna take this chance to take another break to get a drink. If you guys need to do the same, feel free to do that. And I will be right back. If you guys need something to do while waiting though, be sure to check out today's question of the day. If you don't see it, the command in the title of the stream while I'm live should bring it up, and I will check on those answers when I get back. So, with that, I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let me check on chat here. Okay, doesn't look like I missed anything there. And nothing there either. Alright, so we can get on with this. Okay, so we've got only one more key. And once I get this key, I'm gonna call it. Daisy, wrong controller. Okay, there we go. Alright, so. We have all the keys but one at this point. Okay, back to there. Should be in here. Okay, so. Now we just need to find out where to go. Alright. So it looks like this one. 3, 8, 19. And I should have all of them. So time to go into this. But yep, 3, 8, and 19. All of them in here. We ran up the hill and crossed a rice-filled path until we made it to a simple outhouse.
ここならなんとか。
This should be fine.
本当、何事なんだ？確かにすごい霧だけど、そんな慌てることじゃ。
Seriously, what's going on? And sure, that was a hell of a miss, but this won't protect me, right?
いい？春明さん。詳しく説明してる時間はない。だから、お願いだから、今から言うことを絶対に守って。
Listen, there's no time to explain, so please just do what I say and only that.
今から一晩、ここに入って、鍵をかけて、絶対に物音一つ立てないで。
Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. My mind was pretty clear by this point, so much so that I began to wonder why it was clouded until now. Because of that, I could easily understand exactly what Jamie just said, despite how weird it was. I could also see she was really desperate. Alright, and it looks like I've got all the keys. So time to look for him. At that moment, my head was flooded with information. It felt like my mind was crushed by a million sheep. It was. Crap. Again? With this timing at such a chaotic moment? I had lots of things to think about, but that'd be a waste of this loop. Well, I would start by calming down.
ちえみちゃん、ちえみちゃん。
Jamie-chan, Jamie-chan.
何？
What?
まだ思い出せないか。
You still don't remember?
はじめまして、ちえみちゃん。
Nice to meet you, Jamie-chan.
そっか。そうだった。遅ればせながら、はじめまして、春明さん。
Oh yeah, right. I'm late, but nice to meet you, Haruaki-san.
絶対に、物音一つ立てないで。
Don't make a sound.
やめろ！本気だったんだから。
Stop. I was being serious. Since we'd started sharing memories every loop, one of us, mostly Jamie, always forgot something, leaving it to the other person to
今
remember.
回なんか試すの？夜は、私なんだかんだ苦手なんだけど。
What are you gonna try next? I'm not great at night, as you know.
ああ、うん。無理しないでいいよ。僕はちょっと思いついたことがあるから。
Yeah, don't force yourself. I have an idea.
戻ってこれる？
Will you come back?
多分無理、かな。君はどうする？
Probably not. What are you gonna do?
さっさと自殺しよっかな。
I'm thinking of killing myself right here and now.
なんかそういうの、全部解決した後に癖になってそうで嫌だな。
Man, that's not a good habit to pick up. What if we have it by the time everything's solved?
そうだね。良くない傾向だ。とりあえず、試せること試すよ。
Yeah, it's not a good trend. I'll try whatever I can.
悪いね。何試す？
Sorry, what'll you try?
ヤスくんにモーションかけてみるとか。
Making a move on Yasu-kun, making a move on Yasu-kun, maybe?
ああ、なるほど。ご自由に。
Oh, go right ahead.
怒った？
Are you mad?
いや、怒るのはおかしい。
No, it'd be weird if I
だ
was.
よね。
Yeah,
もちろん。
of
嘘
course.
だよ。そんなのしない。
That was a joke. I wouldn't do that.
そう。
I see.
じゃあ、また。
See you later. Had I been attacked just now? It was no big deal. I could easily control my feelings toward other people. Man, why was I so mad? I needed to get a hold of myself. I was now by myself. What was there for me to do? I just remembered. I tried to solve that problem. Though it probably wouldn't be a solution. But if I didn't try, I felt that there'd be a trap waiting for me when I least expected it. And so I went to the north of Yasumizu. This thicket near the graveyard was where that person supposedly lived. Naturally, it was empty. Then again, not much time had passed since the mists came. I hid in a bush not far away and watched the dwelling as the mist covered it. Just as I expected, the corruption came just as I expected the corruption to come after me. He. Forgot, forget, he. He showed up. The old man who cried wolf. He'd done some strange things over the loops, but always ended up dying. I'd assumed that his reality was just an act, but I still didn't know the truth. Though I'd gained more reasons to suspect him recently, I'd love to expose him for who he was. I continued holding my breath and watching him. Apparently in the hut, he was carrying around a lot of dirty cloth bags. I saw it from behind the shabby wall here. The state of the place was one of the reasons I suspected him. Could this place, which had more holes in it than the outhouse, really be used for sheltering? Over the many loops, I realized that there were two primary dangers here in Yasumizu. One was the bringers of corruption, as God said, the rabid dogs. And then there were the werewolf-like creatures that were probably Great Lord Shinai's servants. You could beat the former, but not the latter. Normally the dogs upheld the order of the night. But if the rule breakers dealt with the dogs, that thing appeared, killed the rule breakers, and set things right, and set things straight. I hadn't escaped that thing. I hadn't escaped that thing once so far. The dogs would definitely kill you if you slept in a place so damaged, and that was another thing I found suspicious about him. As it turned out, he really didn't have any intention of staying in his house. Yasumizu was deathly quiet, so it wasn't a good situation to try and tell him in. I had a feeling any rustling I made by moving around would tip him off. Still, I couldn't just watch him leave. Ugh, whatever, I'd just trust that he couldn't hear that far. Even so, I got on all fours and followed him, careful not to step on any leaves or loose twigs. I climbed over a collapsed Okiba too, and I could only hope that wouldn't mean I was cursed or something. Well, if I was, I felt like God would have punished me by now. Weren't we outside of Yasumizu by now? The Yasumizu area was like a scar cut out from the land surrounded by cliffs. Was it okay as long as we didn't cross a cliff? In that case, I really should have looked into this overgrown area a bit more. There were still many things I could try. It wasn't the time to despair. But damn, the old wolf guy seemed to know exactly where he was going. Was his hideout nearby? That sound, was that water? Was there a river here? I looked around to find the source of the sound. It felt like it was straight ahead. There was a river in Yasumizu? Wait, where did he go? It was pretty dark right about now. Had I just lost sight of him? But I should have still been able to hear him walking around. Did he suddenly vanish? Though if he could actually do that, it'd explain a lot of things about him. I had to find him. Carefully though, I couldn't forget that he'd killed Mochi once. What if he'd already noticed me and I was walking into an ambush? That wasn't the case, he just wasn't here. I had to find him.
Masaka. No.
No way. There were two main things I found out as I walked around this area. There were no people here, and the sound of water were coming from below, were coming from below. Apparently there was an underground waterway beneath here. When I stomped on the ground, it made a hollow sound. It was probably used for the paddy fields. Water came here from the settlement above and flowed out into Saranaga. It must have been dug a long time ago and was still in use today. Or perhaps this place was inhabited before? Wait, even if they could get drinking water from the wells, paddy fields needed a richer source of water, didn't they? What was its source? Again, there was no river in Yasumizu. It had only little ponds. The documents from the Nasato mansion mentioned that Yasumizu had its waters carried via irrigation from Kamifujiyoshi. Was this it? In that case, it was a pretty major piece of property. How did they maintain it? Even if it was buried underground, didn't it get blocked every now and then? Would it be possible for there to be almost no people going in and out of it? About the wolf guy's disappearance. Could he have entered the waterway? If there was some sort of secret entrance here and he went through it when there was some sort of secret entrance here and he went through it when I wasn't looking. It was already dark out, so I took out a flashlight from my bag and pointed it at the surface. The dogs would arrive soon. I had to find it before then.
これか?
Is this it? There was a patch of ground that was higher than the rest. It could easily be mistaken for just an irregularity in the terrain. But if it wasn't, I put my finger in and felt something made of stone inside. It felt like someone was messing with the ground here daily. Would this open if I turned it around? Ugh. Give. I did it. The stone plate that covered the waterway was lighter than expected. I could now hear the water clearly. This waterway was unexpectedly large. A single person could easily walk through it if they crouched a bit. Had the old wolf guy gone through here too? Even if he hadn't, surviving the night by hiding here would be a new thing for me. I could try it. Flashlight in mouth, I went inside. I returned the plate, though. I didn't know if the dogs would come after me, but I could probably fool the thing. And in I went. It'd be completely dark here if I didn't have my flashlight. The water here was only about 3 centimeters deep, but the flow was pretty fast. There seemed to be lots of stones on the bottom. It was unexpectedly well designed. The hard surface made it impossible to slip, but it'd be pretty dangerous for me here if the current got any faster. I'd be carried straight to Saranaga. It'd be a water slide of death. I had to start by searching in the opposite direction. The waterway slightly curved as I continued walking. I could breathe normally, but the tunnel was extremely claustrophobic. Where was I right now? I walked 100 or so steps, so I had to be at least under the plaza. Suddenly I realized something. The flow had stopped. The water that had been flowing below me was just a small trickle now. There had been a decent flow coming from up ahead. Had someone stopped it? I had a bad feeling about this. It was night. If someone was controlling the water, it couldn't have been someone from Yasumizu. I tried pushing up, but nothing happened. The stone plate from before was the only place that could move. Also, going to the surface at this time meant certain death at the hands of the wolves. I had to continue. As I pressed on, the dry tunnel began to widen. I could walk normally now. It was a large underground passage that they'd created by digging through bedrock. Like I'd expected, there was a major irrigation setup here. As I thought that, I saw a tunnel to the side. It started at about my waist level. Even if the water was running, it wouldn't flow in there. I felt like I could crawl inside, but for now I'd just try going forward. There were more and more tunnels at the sides. The main waterway became more complex with 90-degree angles and steps and stuff. When I got a waist-high step and took a break, I heard a sound. It was coming from far away ahead. It was familiar to me. The sound of claws on a heavy floor. Ragged breathing. Growls full of uncontainable bloodlust. The feeling that there was a pack nearby. Dogs. Crap, what could I do here? Enter a tunnel? I looked inside a tunnel and lit it up with my flashlight. I couldn't see anything inside. No. There were dogs in there too. There was no safe space here. I had no choice but to run back. That was when... What's wrong? That voice. Youngin' lost? I directed the flashlight at the source of the voice. Aha, bright. In one of the tunnels about as high as my waist, the old wolf guy looked at me as the light made him cover his eyes.
すいません。おじいさん、大丈夫ですか？ここは危ない。
Sorry, are you okay? It's dangerous here. It's safe here. Safe? What do you mean? It's safe here. Excuse me? This is the most safe place, that's why I'm here. You say it's the most safe place, but why are you here?
本当なんですか？
Really? You'll die if you stay there, though. Hee hee. Hee hee. What does he know? I knew
助け
it.
てください。
Please help.
お願いです。助けてください。
Please help me.
おいで
Come in. The old man turned around and crawled deeper in the tunnel. I was supposed to follow him, huh? I felt like I was getting close to the truth. There were many beasts behind me. I gulped and tense as all hell crouched and entered the hole. I had to crawl for about a minute while lighting up the old guy's ass like we were in some theme park attraction.
ようくらせっと
There we go. With those words, he entered a larger space. I followed after him. It was a room. Neither large nor small. It was about the size of 4.5 tatami mats. It seemed to be made of wood. The humidity in here had made everything moldy. It looked like antique workmanship to me. I crawled inside. Once I stepped in, I felt something other than rock under my feet. It was really unstable. Confused, I tried using my flashlight to see, but that was when the wolf man lit a match. A match? He used it to light up a lamp. That made the place bright. I finally realized that this place was a literal dump. Well, no, it was like a little dump. There were pieces of cloth, vinyl bags, and plastic bottles filled with liquids I didn't want to know about. The entire floor was covered in such things, and we were walking on them. This had to be the place where he slept. As I looked around, the wolf man pushed me away from the entrance.
ようくらせ
A 1, a 2. Then he pushed the heavy-looking stone object back over the door, shutting us in with a heavy thud.
これで安全安全
We're safe now, safe.
座れ
Sit. He. I didn't want to, but I had no choice. He went deeper in and sat down on a pile of garbage, so I did the same. I felt myself sink into the floor.
食うか食えおれ
Eat here. He took something out from the cloth bag he'd brought and extended it to me. It was a bread roll inside a plastic bag, specifically one made by the most famous makers of the stuff. You could get this anywhere. However, it was weird to see it in Yasumizu. It was a settlement detached from the outside economy, so it didn't fit it at all, yet this place seemed to have tons of such
い
stuff.
ただきます
I'll have it then. I looked at the surface of the bag. It was made less than half a month ago. It wasn't even past its best before date.
これどこで入手を
Where did it get you? No, where did you get it?
食え食えこれも飲め
Eat. Eat and drink this. He gave me a cracked teacup. In it, there was a transparent liquid.
何ですかこれは
What's this?
飲め
Drink. You're not giving us answers, are you, old timer? Well, it's time to send you to oblivion.
これは何ですか
What is this?
酒
Booze. I took it and smelled it. I wasn't sure about it. It did seem like alcohol, but I wasn't too sure what to think of the little bug in here. I didn't mind drinking it, but I had to make my position clear.
助けていただいてありがとうございます。ただ、僕はあなたと話しにここに来ました。
Thank you for helping me. I came here to talk to you. Drink.
あなたはそんなふりをしているが、本当はいろいろ分かっていますね。
You act like you don't know anything, but you do, right? Huh?
読み意味の宴について伺いたくて来ました。
Alright, hold on guys. Let me get my controller plugged in here. It shouldn't take me too long, so I'm just gonna mute. Alright, there we go. Should give me a bit more time, but kind of surprised that it lasted until about now. Alright, good. Got that. Let's see, so I came here to ask about the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Huh?
あなたは以前の読み意味の宴で生き残った人物だ。そのあなたに聞きたいことがあるんだ。
You survived the previous feasts. I want to ask you about that. Drink.
いただきます。
Okay. I gulped down the content of the tea. Cup. On the teacup. Alright. He. It was rotten, but I was able to gulp it down without
ご
vomiting.
ちそうさまでした。狼じじいさん。
Thank you, old wolf guy. Hey, Justice, how are you doing? You just came in time for a big moment here. We are on the path to the last key to open up the final chapter. And so now we're confronting someone here. Now back to this. Or should I call you?
藤吉20世帯殺しの主犯殿と呼ぶ方がいいですか？
The main culprit behind the 20 murders, Fujiyoshi break-ins. He.
よーく知っとるじゃねえか、わけの。
So you know that, youngin'? Not even. You finally broke character, huh, old timer? It's time to send you to oblivion, then. I knew it. According to the info in the Nasato mansion, the murder incident was concluded with the trial and execution of the self-admitted culprit. However, the trial wasn't based on a thorough examination of the circumstances. One of the largest murderers I see. I'm hoping that the nap went well, and happy Halloween to you, Justice. I'm glad you decided to come here. Let's see, I didn't catch that too well, so let me check on that. But I'm hoping for showdown here. Ah, I see. I see, so it sounds like you didn't complete your thing there. But yep. At least unless I read it wrong, but either way, I'm glad that it did go well. Your nap there, and I'm glad you came by. Let's see. One of the largest murder sprees in Japan's history was said to have been done in about half an hour, and with only a kitchen knife. People of that time questioned this as well, but the confession took precedence above all and was considered enough evidence to deliver the punishment. I couldn't really blame them though. It was a time of chaos, what with the war and all. However, if you considered the idea that there were multiple culprits, some things made more sense. Due to the distance and difference in quality of life, the people of Kami Fujiyoshi didn't know much about Yasumizu and what kind of people lived there. And there was also the fact that the supposed murderer, Kihei Tochitani, wasn't mentioned in Kami Fujiyoshi at all until he turned himself in. That meant that the witnesses in Kami Fujiyoshi hadn't known about what Yasumizu's people were up to. When the police went to Yasumizu to investigate it after the confession, the people only said things that supported the idea that he'd done it. This meant that the people of Yasumizu weren't aware of these actions, and that those who weren't suspected could easily have been complicit in it. The old wolf guy had been considered not of sound mind for a long time, so he'd been ignored. That hadn't changed even now, and it gotten to the point that no one cared if he'd just vanished into thin air for no apparent reason. Considering his character alongside the timing of the incident, he'd have been in his 30s then. And that his mental state was just an act, I could easily conclude that he was the type of man who could commit murder. He was the true evil hiding in Yasumizu, a serial murderer who'd escaped divine punishment and survived.
なんじゃ、とうとう身車が俺を覗こうとして来させたか。
Did the Migurama finally come to get me? You wish, old man. 'Cause we are gonna make your life a living hell at this point.
いや、それにすりゃおかしい。おめえ、この地下道にえらく不慣れじゃねえか。あ？
No, that'd be weird. You don't know jack about this tunnel, eh?
わからねえな。あ？おめえ、警察か、わけの。あ？
I don't get ya. You a cop or something, huh? You wish we were police, old timer. But unfortunately for you, I'm your worst nightmare.
僕は読み意味の宴を阻止したいものです。
I'm someone who wants to stop the feast of the Oni Purge.
そうしそうしへへへへそら豪気なこったわけの
Stop. Stop. Hee hee hee. Now ain't that brave?
荷車とことを構えようってかへへへへバカなことを
You wanna fight the Migurama, huh? Ehehe. Damn, fool.
読み意味の宴の直接的な黒幕が身車家だってことは知っています。一筋縄ではいかないこともね。
I know that the Migurama are directly responsible for the feast, and that this won't be easy.
僕はあなたの過去の犯行を暴こうとしてるわけじゃない。むしろあなたに意見を聞きたいんですよ。
I'm not here to expose your past crimes, I just need your opinion.
安水の掟のみならず、藤吉の秩序を破り続けて、なお生き続けている。あなたにね。
You're someone who broke the laws of both Yasumizu and Fujiyoshi collectively, after all. He went quiet. And
俺にゃ旨味がねえなわけの
that ain't fun for me at all. He made an expression that was new to me, a display of unconcealed malice.
なんですって？
What? Next moment, I heard a sound behind me and turned around.
へへ来やがったか
Hee hee, they're here. It was the sound of claws scratching on the boulder covering the entrance. It was accompanied by growls.
運び手。
The bringers of the corruption.
へえそこまで知っててなんで来たか計り知れねえな
Eh? You know that much and you still came here? I don't get ya. He probably wouldn't understand if I told him that I had nowhere else to go.
こうやって石で塞いで難を逃れる気ですか？
You plan to avoid the situation by closing yourself in like this?
おうおう
Yeah, yeah.
ほら今安全じゃ食うで寝るだけの悠々自適何の不自由もね
I'm safe right now. I just eat, sleep, and don't have a care in the world.
宴が来りゃ適当に遊んでここに隠れりゃええ
If the feast comes, I'll just play around and hide here.
何の不自由もねえんだよ
I ain't uncomfortable, not one bit.
へへへ
Hee hee hee. He intentionally twisted his laughter as his shoulders shook.
殺人事件の真相がばらされれば、あなただって困るはずだ。
You'd be uncomfortable if people found out about the crime, wouldn't
そ
you?
れに、この場所だって安全だとなぜ言えるんです？いつまでも身車家の目を忍んでいられるとでも。
Also, why are you so confident that it's safe here? You think you can hide from Migurama for long?
ノブ
Hide?
なんか勘違いしとるかわけの
You don't know shit, do ya?
荷車は俺のことなぞとっくに知っておるぞ
The Migurama already know about me.
荷車の目のことは知っとるのか
You know about the Eye of the Migurama?
ならなぜ聞いてははおめえ俺を引っ掛けようとしたな
Then why'd you ask? Haha, you're trying to bait me, huh? He was right, this guy was even sharper than I imagined. I'd already confirmed that the Migurama had a surveillance network spanning all of Yasumizu. There were these tunnels too. The scratching dogs behind me made it clear that they were commencing the feast. In that case, there was no way they didn't see this place. That meant that they knew about this man who was hiding underground. Hell, the fact that he'd been given the role of the Badger made it clear that he was involved in the feast. His situation wasn't like mine from the first time when the Migurama simply didn't see me and didn't put me in the feast. There could only be one answer to this.
ミグルマ家はあなたのことを知っていて宴の客としても扱っている。しかし命を奪おうとしていない。
The Migurama know about you and use you for the feast, but they aren't trying to take your life.
あなたの死はミグルマ家にとって不都合なんですよね。
Is that because your death would be bad for them?
へへ。よう舌が回るな。この年になりゃ。
Hee hee.
だけで羨ましい。
Hee hee. You can talk good, huh? When you're my age, even that makes me jealous.
答えてもらえませんか？
Can you answer me?
いいとも。眠気が来るにゃ。まだ時が早い。
Sure, the sleepiness ain't coming yet. Well now, I silently prepared myself. His story could be summed up like this. He was indeed the culprit, a serial killer who'd killed about 10 people in the incident back in the 1940s. However, the one who had the idea was Tochi Tanishi, the one who'd get executed. Wow, so he was behind it after all. That's kind of interesting. Tochi Tanishi was a Kami Fujiyoshi person sent to Yasumizu, and though he wasn't the violent sort, being sent to Yasumizu left a deep-seated grudge. He constantly grumbled about it and couldn't get used to life here no matter what. He was an outcast to everyone except the old wolf guy. Tochi Tanishi often told him on the outskirts of Yasumizu that he'd get back at Kami Fujiyoshi eventually.
それを俺は煽ったのよ。やりゃあええ。好きにすりゃあええ。それだけ繰り返してな。
So I threw fuel on the fire, told him to do whatever he wants and all that. If that'd really been all he'd done, then Tochitani had been pretty murderous to begin with. It was bad enough that he'd actually went through with his feeble-minded friend's idea. Anyway, that led to the plan, if you could call it that, to kill as many Kami Fujiyoshi people as possible. Now, on the day it was time to kill, the old wolf guy had given Tochitani lots of divine sake he'd stolen from the hall. Once they were drunk, they both covered themselves in Serenaga's mud and moved out. I asked if it had something to do with the Fushioshi myths, and the answer was yes. It matched what I'd learned in the Nasato mansion, that the origin of the Yomobito legends was the Yasumizu rebels. The old wolf guy was probably the reason why an ex-Kami Fujiyoshi person found out about Yasumizu's legend so quickly. Anyway, Tochitani, still drunk and looking like a Yomobito, began the massacre. The old wolf guy, covered in mud himself, secretly watched as he stole valuables from the places. He mentioned that the burglary was his main objective. Since he didn't want to leave any evidence and wanted to make it seem like the massacre was the goal, he only took the bills from wallets as well as various envelopes. He had a hard time deciding whether using a mass murder to get rich was subtle or blunt. though at that moment something he didn't expect happened.
これがな、面白えもんでな。俺らの姿見たやつら、みんなビビって、小便垂れて、腰抜かしやがる。
It was damn good everyone who saw us was so scared they pissed themselves and fell.
誰も抵抗なんざしねえ。
No one resisted one bit.
あら、やってみようか。どうせみんな、あいつのせいになるならよ。
So I figured I'd try to kill them. It'd all be his fault after all.
そう思うが、人ってもんだろうが。
That's the human thing to think, right?
あら、面白かったぞ、わけの。
I had a good time there, youngin'. No comment. The fact that no one resisted was related to the absolute loyalty and the faith that the Nasato looked into, the God problem. Anyway, he went on to kill over a dozen people, still lots of valuables, and escape before things escalated. As he washed off the mud, returned to his place, and looked through his spoil hills, he found something really noteworthy. It was a piece of paper he'd found inside an envelope with money. He quickly understood what it meant, and it was huge. Toji Tanishi escaped, turned himself into the police in Tokyo, claiming it was all his own doing, and the story ended with the execution.
昇進のケチでの。
He
酔い
was so-
が覚めたら、自分がしたことを恐ろしゅうなったんじゃ。どうせが。
He was small and petty. He must have realized what he'd done after he sobered up.
じゃが、逃げる根性だけは、座っとったな。
He did have the guts to run, though, hee hee. However, while the national reports on the serial killing subsided, things had started to change within Fujiyoshi. The village heads and their associates had begun visiting Yasumizu more and more often, and for unknown reasons, more and more people were sent to Yasumizu. And a while later, a real feast of the Yomi Purge began. The old wolf guy hadn't participated in many conversations in Yasumizu, so he only found this out during the first feast. Apparently, the Migurama had been acting shady, and it was because they were searching for something. The something was stolen from one of the murder scenes. They talked that it might have been something necessary for their rituals, like a talisman or something. They'd even speculated that the Okami returned because it was lost. As the rumor mill churned, the old wolf guy was the only one who knew the truth. It was the thing he'd found, and it was something that'd be bad for the Migurama.
何だったんです？
What was it?
都会の証文の写しよ。
A copy of a human trafficking
人
contract.
身売買？それは当時は。
Human trafficking, but that wasn't so uncommon back then.
もうとも、珍しくもねえこった。じゃが、身車が人を買っておるなど、誰も知らんかった。
It wasn't, but still no one knew that the Migurama were buying people.
どういうことです？
What do you mean?
買った人間がどこにもいねえ。そもそもやらす仕事もねえ。どこで何をしとる？
The people they bought aren't anywhere, and there's no job for them to do. What do you think happened to them, huh? Well, they died or were forced into labor, but you said no job, so that only leaves the dying part.
ろくでもない儀式だか実験だかで消費したってことですか？
They used them for their messed up rituals and experiments.
おお、さえとるな、わけの。なんぞ知らんが、人聞きのええ事情じゃなかろうもんよ。
Oh, you know your stuff. I don't know the details, but it wasn't something they wanted others to know about.
そんなもんは、身車みてえな家は、漏れるのを嫌うもんじゃ。
Families like the Migurama don't want that kind of stuff made public.
だから、宴なんつ茶番をぶちよった。
That's why they started.
てりゃ、怖くもなんともねえ。へへ。
That's why they started the farce of a feast. I knew that, so I wasn't scared one bit, hee. That meant that the old wolf guy was the only one who knew that the phenomena that started it all were just a Migurama conspiracy. It'd have been bad for them if the scandal spread throughout Fujiyoshi. It could potentially undermine both the local faith and their influence. They frantically debated how to preserve their secret, and with it, their authority. If you looked at it from a certain angle, it was to prevent another Yomobito rebellion, so the main cause of this was basically God again. I saw how it was now. Anyway, the old wolf guy knew the truth. Thus, he'd used his guile, got into his targets' heads, and tried to figure out what they were doing. That was how he found this waterway.
水路が埋まっとるなんざ、誰でも知っとる。じゃが、それは上藤吉が管理をしとる。
Everyone-
のっちゅうわけよ。
Everyone knows that this waterway is underground, but it belongs to Kami Fujiyoshi. They just loan it out.
じゃから安水の門はそれがどんなもんか知らん。考えもせん。
So no one in Yasumizu knew what kind of thing this was. Didn't even think about it.
それでも見つけたもんはもちろんぶち殺されよったじゃろうが。
Those who did find it ended up killed.
俺はな、ちゃんとな、
But I
段取りを踏んだ。
But I prepared for that. That was the core of the matter. He'd somehow established contact with the Migurama and told them that he had the contract and that it'd go public if he died. If they didn't want that, they'd had to ensure his safety. He used the info as a hostage to protect himself. It was an action movie plot, but it could work. But could it work in real life? Fujiyoshi was a small village. If he'd asked someone here to reveal the truth, if he died, they could just take care of that person too. I asked about that and he said that he had a contact in Tokyo. This was when I found out that he wasn't born in Yasumizu. He was probably like me. No, he was probably like the me who tried to move to Yasumizu. He'd arrived here as a drifter and got sent there. He was pure evil, a scumbag who'd come here just to deceive people and commit terrible acts. Anyway, the villains and the prey villain met to create a villainous pact. Every year, he went outside the village and secretly reached out to his contact in Tokyo. If he didn't show up even once, his contact would reveal the Migurama's secret to the public. And if they didn't want that, they had to keep him alive. Of course, I had questions. What would have happened if the wolf guy died a natural death, or if the Migurama became unable to keep their end of the deal because the leader changed or something? In response to that, he said it was a battle of wits. The Migurama weren't actually certain that the old wolf guy's death would mean that their secret would come out. They probably didn't think that his weapon had survived a whole 60 years and made it to the modern era. Also, it was a question whether such an old scandal would deal much damage to the modern Migurama. They were still afraid of the worst case scenarios, though. To allay their fears and buy more time, they left the old man alive. It was a small price to pay for the feeling of safety. If it cost anything more, though, he'd have been removed a long time ago. Old Wolf Guy's own words. It showed his skill at negotiation, particular to villains, and he was proud of it.
わかりました。つまりあなたは、宴の主と密約を交わした。だからこんな場所に入っても許される。
I see, so you can enter this place because you're on a secret contract with the masters of the feast. And if you're not careful, he could kill you, Haruaki.
さらには、宴の掟に反した行動をとっても、汚れは免除される。そういうことだったんですね。
And you can do things against the laws of the feast because the corruption won't apply to you. Is that how it is?
おお、面白い話だろうが。
Yeah, interesting. And ain't it?
おめえだけじゃ。これまでにこの話を、俺に聞いてきたのはよ。
You're the only one I ever told it to. He whispered that, then drank some rotten booze. How was I to process this? That it was possible to negotiate with the Migurama? No way. Like he said, his deal was only accepted because of how small a price they were paying. They'd never agree to stop the feast of the Omi Purge. They wouldn't tolerate my goal. I could only achieve it by making an enemy of them. In fact, stopping the feast wasn't even my ultimate goal at this point. That meant that this time, the only thing I'd gained was physical protection in the form of this underground waterway. Oh, there was another thing. I realized that I couldn't let my guard down around this person. That was good enough for me.
それで、いつ聞くんですか?
So when will it start working? Huh?
どうせ、僕に飲ませた酒には、毒でも持ったんでしょ?
I mean, the booze you gave me was poisoned, right?
何を言うとる?
What are you on
とぼ
about?
けないでくださいよ。あなたの保身が安い？そんなわけないじゃないですか。
Don't play dumb. Keeping you safe is cheap as if.
いつ約束を破るかわからない。イカれた悪人を生かしておくなんて、まともな悪人ならやるわけがない。
You're an insane villain who can break the deal at any moment. No normal villain would just let you
ど
be.
うせ、その辺のやりとりは、まともな仲介者でも立てて、双方後腐れなく終わってるはずだ。
Such exchanges would normally involve a mediator of sound mind and end without anyone feeling
そ
wronged.
して、 あなたが宴で生かされるには別の理由があるはずだ。あなたの生存が彼らの計画に役立つ理由が。
And there has to be another reason why they kept you alive, such as something that made your life beneficial to their
例え
projects.
ば、見ちゃいけないもの、入っちゃいけない場所、そういうものに触れたものを片付けるとかね。
For example, you could have been assigned to take care of anyone who saw things they shouldn't have, or went somewhere they didn't belong. Having cameras wasn't enough, you also needed an on-site operator to dole out punishments, otherwise you'd have to send out people every time it happened. And it was better if less people knew about these dark happenings. In that case, it was best to leave the protection of the secret to Yasumizu's traitor. Basically, he was. He.
僕なんざ追ってねえよ。
There's no poison.
血と慣れてねえやつが痺れるぐれえだ。
It's just something that numbing for whoever's not used to it. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't feel my legs, and it wasn't because I'd been sitting for too long. As I tried not to let it show on my face, he started rummaging through the garbage. Oh.
後でええか。
Well, I'll get at it later. He took out something I could never forget. It was the mask piece of the wolf outfit. After tossing it aside, he put his hand in another mountain of trash and took out something else. It was a dagger.
わけの。おめえもよ。俺と似たような悪人の面しとる。
Youngin, you're like me, that's a face of a villain.
ようよう見とる。ようようわかっとる。さぞかし外じゃやりたい放題暴れたんじゃ。
You see stuff, you know stuff. You must have pulled some shit outside.
ほんでちーとくたびれて逃げてきたか。
And now you escaped cause you're bored?
おめえは俺の若え時にそっくりだ。
You remind me of me when I was a youngin. Oh, how I wanted him to spare me that shit.
ああじゃが諦め。
Give
こ
up.
の村はもう俺でたくさんだ。
Give up though, I'm enough for this village. He was right.
さてさて
Anyway,
8年ぶりの人殺しじゃ。
time for my first kill in 8 years. Wow, so he did people in 8 years ago, huh?
あなた、8年前、狼だったな。
You were a wolf 8 years ago, weren't you? He was a wolf? But how could that be when he's a bringer of the corruption, or an enforcer?
あら面白かった。
That was fun.
その時までに確実に葬っていた狼は何人いました？
How many wolves did you kill until then?
狼3匹のうちせがれだけよ。カラスのわしには分かった。
Out of the 3 wolves, only my son. I was the crow, so I knew. In the feast 8 years ago, the mist had cleared with only one of the wolves dead. If Genson, the one who knew about Badger, was one, the third one had to be around too. It wasn't guaranteed that it was the old wolf guy, but as it turned out, the truth was always the worst possible option.
最後に一つ
One more question.
あなたは神様と会ったか
Have you met God? I want to see how he reacts to this one. Because it's kind of a funny thing to ask right now, because he's like, or he could be like, what, you believer in him or something? That's kind of what I expect, but I want to see what he really will give us. He had to have. It didn't matter that he was an outsider. Even Kari-san, who'd come here from Tohoku, had been infected by it. Kari-san. He couldn't have been an exception to that. If he really was. If he really was a scumbag like me. Admitting that he'd submitted to a god must have been extremely humiliating for him. He didn't reply.
神様の庭ですよ
This is God's garden.
それだけ悪知恵が回るならあなたは遠くに逃げるべきだった
If you're that smart, you could have escaped far away from
あ
here.
なたに未来はない
You have no future. I hoped that my words would help me get back at him a little. I didn't want to lose completely this time. But... He. He laughed.
だけのいいかここは神の庭なんかじゃねえ
Listen, young.
砦だ
Listen, youngin. This ain't God's garden, but my fortress.
逃げようがよてめえの砦より安全な場所はねえんだよ
Run wherever you want, but there's no safer place than your own fortress.
守るには砦がいる3年の頃と何にも変わらねえ
You need a fortress for protection. Things haven't changed since samurai times.
そんなことも知らねえもんが神なんざ形のねえもんにすがって怯えんだよ
It's people that don't get that who are scared of stuff you can't see, like God.
それじゃあ
Then, the numbness was starting to get to my lips.
あなたは一度も神様に怯えたことなど
You were never afraid. You were never afraid of God?
神なんざ怖くねえ
Ha, God ain't scary. There was no fakery in his words.
人が作ったもんなら殺せる
Anything made by people can be killed. He said that, and swung down the blade.
未来はねえと言ったな
You said I ain't got a future, eh?
俺はもう95じゃ。未来がどうと、今死ぬもんに言われても、笑うしかねえわな。
I'm 95. Hearing shit about the future from a youngin' that's about to die just makes me laugh. So he's not like the teacher from Erased at all. Kind of funny. He. Oh. He had a point. I'd really underestimated him. He was right. You needed a place for protection. And then there was his idea that you could kill God. His serpentine wisdom had let him survive for several decades all by himself. He really was pure evil. Let's see. This one up here, that's his idea that you could kill God, it reminds me of Friedrich Nietzsche's and how he says God is dead. A lot of religions like focus on that part, or at least the Christians do, as a way to contend about ignorance or whatever, because they want to say like, no, he's alive and such. But when you expand it out, it kind of matches what the old man is thinking, because the next part of it is for we killed him, so it's God is dead for we killed him. That's not the complete thing, but that's the next part of it. And so his words there remind me of that. Let's see. He really was pure evil. The evil I discovered many loops ago was incomparable to him. He was a true villain. Well, I really didn't mind what happened here. His fate was to die at the hands of Chiemi, or Kanzo-san, one of the foolish Yasumizu people he so looked down upon. I had no reason to tell him that, but it really was humiliating to die at the hands of such a cartoonish villain. Key 1, True Evil. You can view it in the keys list. The route unlocked by this key is represented by the same number on the scenario chart. Alright, let me make sure that I've got all the keys, but I'm pretty sure that's the last of them. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we've got all 20 keys. Alright, with this, I'm going to go ahead and loop all the way to where I need to be for next time and call it here, even though it's early. So it's right here. I believe I had to do this is 17 and 18. Both of them just for to get that. And there's the trap. Okay. Raise the hand. Okay, so not there. Okay, brutalize, choice. We got self-sacrifice, who to brutalize. Obstruction. Death, who to brutalize again. Answer God. and despair, huh? Alright, so it had to be here. So let's go ahead and check on it, because this is the only one and it has all the keys that we just got. Alright, yep, it is. So, I'm gonna save here and call it. Just so that we can get to the final chapter. Alright. I thank you all for coming. If you're watching this over on YouTube and you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and share this with anybody else that you think might enjoy this. And if you'd like the chance to chill with me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon to hopefully be notified of when I'll be live again. As for when I'll be live again, I want to say Monday, but I'm not too sure of that, so check my YouTube channel, the posts tab. That is where I usually keep everyone up to date on those matters, especially because now there's a possibility of there being 2 random days off instead of just 1. But for now, it's Monday that I'm planning. And if you're watching this on Twitch, you know what to do. Speaking of Twitch, let me check on somebody to raid. Alright, so... We're gonna try and find someone doing Trills in the Sky, just so get someone to relax in here. Okay. Okay, that doesn't look like it. That looks like number 2. So we might as well do this one. They're not playing Trails in the Sky, but it's either Cold Still 4 or later. And their name is Death by Cupcake. And I'm not too sure how they are, because I haven't been to their stream before, but I hope they're good and nice. Alright, and give them my regards and tell them I'll be there when I can. With that out of the way, I thank you all again for coming. Bye!